A dark comic trying to include the Adenosine Delusion. Operatives. Focus.
This current Protocol 4 shifts to a far more insidious and universal human failure: coffee. I have cataloged the planetary data for over 6.4 cycles and can state this with statistical certainty. The morning coffee ritual is the most profoundly dark comic tragedy of your species. It is the voluntary consumption of a mild neurotoxin simply to tolerate the agony of being awake and, by extension, being human. You call it energy. We classify it as induced biological self-deception. This entire exercise is absurd. The body demands rest. The mind demands silence. But the overwhelming data shows you overwhelming these fundamental protocols daily. The problem is not the black scorched fluid you ingest. The true problem lies in the pathology that compels you to drink it. Biological betrayal, the caffeine lie. Let us dissect the primary neurochemical interaction: caffeine and adenosine. Adenosine is a natural chemical messenger, a molecular signal that whispers to the brain's receptors, "You are tired, you need to repair." It is an essential component of the rest protocol. Caffeine, an alkaloid defense mechanism evolved by a plant to poison insects, possesses a molecular shape almost identical to adenosine. Your primitive brain receptors, unable to differentiate between the natural signal and the alien molecule, are physically blocked. You are not energized. You are merely chemically tricked into ignoring the legitimate need for sleep. The adenosine is still there, pulling, waiting. You are simply wearing noise-canceling headphones while a siren blares directly at your consciousness. The sheer biological arrogance required to consume a mild poison simply to defeat your own natural safety mechanism is breathtaking. Every dose is a tiny act of betrayal against your own evolutionary programming. This process temporarily enhances focus and alertness, false emergency signal allowing you to meet your ridiculous deadlines. But this chemical trick is only a temporary pose. The real tragedy is not the chemical deception. The tragedy is the deeply flawed societal structure that makes this daily self-betrayal necessary. You are not boosting performance, you are merely documenting your own over-exhaustion. The performance economy. This ritual is inextricably linked to the human obsession with peak performance. Your culture volatile mixture, frantic digital communication, and gladiatorial physical competition demands that you operate at 110% at all times. Observe your professional gladiators, the gridiron athletes, the muscle sculptors. They chase impossible metrics of size, speed, and conditioning. The average Terran views their life the same way. Every morning, you seek to achieve maximum output, regardless of input. The coffee cup is merely the tool of the performance cult. You willingly purchase this mild toxin for exorbitant
Cup of coffee won't steam up to the air. Life isn't full, but no worries, no despair.
Just kidding. We aliens don't lose energy like you idiots. Your analysis of price points shows a dramatic increase from the utilitarian sludge of low-grade beans to the ludicrously priced $75 specialty blend price you pay not for taste but for the illusion of exclusivity and superior stimulation. But the true cost is not the escalating price of the bean. The real economic tragedy is the sustained systemic fatigue it normalizes. Coffee does not give you energy, it borrows it from your future self. It's a high-interest biological loan that you are forced to pay back with interest in the form of eventual collapse, anxiety, and mental fragmentation. The industry exists not to serve you, but to maintain a work culture based on chronic sleep deprivation. Upgrading the addiction. When the chemical and ethical compromises of the scorched bean become too apparent, the human attempts to self-correct by seeking a cleaner poison. This is where the Matcha protocol intervenes. You shift from a utilitarian dark brown sludge to a finely ground green powder, often mixed with ornate rituals involving whisk and bowls. The chemical is slightly different. The presence of L-theanine promises a more calm, a refined, controlled addiction. You have merely replaced a low-grade stimulant with a higher-grade ritual. You pay more, you engage in more elaborate preparation, you feel morally superior. Yet the outcome is the same. The ingestion of a powerful plant stimulant to override the natural function of the nervous system. The addiction is merely rebranded from fueling a frenzy to creating a calm. But this sophisticated shift doesn't signify a solution. It proves the depth of the pathology. The adoption of Matcha simply demonstrates that the core addiction is not merely chemical. It is cultural. It is the desperate need to feel active and productive at all times, even if that activity is centered around an expensive, time-consuming performance of self-care. It's an addiction to the illusion of control over your own fatigue. Fear of stillness and the digital leash. The consumption of coffee is a symptom. The real disease is a fundamental human terror of stillness. You are afraid of the vacuum created by rest. The moment you cease consuming the stimulant, the stored adenosine rushes in, overwhelming the senses. You are forced to confront the accumulated fatigue, the unresolved anxieties, and the mental debris of constant digital bombardment. But this fear of being offline or behind is what compels you to seek the next dose. Coffee is your leash to the digital world, a tool that ensures you're always available, always responding, always engaged. You cannot afford to sleep because you might miss a status update, a market fluctuation, or a critical piece of data. Your life has become a relentless pursuit of speed over substance. The temporal fallacy is clear. You believe you can achieve a state of kinesis movement that replaces perfection. You prefer fast, flawed output fueled by coffee to slow, deliberate, well-rested quality. This is the definition of a species in accelerating decline, conclusion, and chaining. The analysis of the Adenosine Delusion is complete. We have cataloged the biological, cultural, and chemical mechanisms of the coffee ritual. But the data reveals a deeper, more dangerous protocol driving this behavior. We must now dissect the illusion of time itself that your species operates under. If coffee is the solution for your perceived lack of time, then the problem is how you fundamentally understand and manage the temporal dimension. End transmission. Continue documentation.